In the world of business and money, there are 4 different types of people, no matter where you are. E stands for employee, and our school systems do a great job of creating employees. That's what the mantra is, go to school to get a job. S stands for the smart guys. These are the doctors, lawyers, the self-employed, small business. So most people, I would say 95% are E's and S's because they went to school and got a job. The B stands for big business. And as you say, you don't trust them either, which is a good thing. And I stands for investor. Now there's very different types of investors. But the reason the big tax fight is on right now is in 1943, employees lost control of taxes. That was we're in the middle of World War II. And at that point, they put in that withholding tax thing. So employees, whether you're the janitor or a CEO, you're taxed, like guys like his name. Anyway, they're taxed the highest. 1986, the small business owner, the doctors and lawyers lost their rights too. The only people that have tax benefits.
How did they lose their rights in 1986?
It was, they took away the rights these guys have. See, these guys, I hate to say this, I'm not saying it's fair. That's why my book is called The Unfair Advantage.
Yeah.
Is these guys can pay 0 tax. I'm not saying
this is the Warren Buffett thing.
That's
the argument that's going on now. I know it hacks me off too, but that's what the case is. They're saying they don't pay, these billionaires don't pay any taxes.
Well, it goes back to what you said. Who makes the tax law? It's the golden rule, right? Who has a goal makes the rules.
Right.
Why does GE pay no tax?
Because they help make the rules.
Yes.
Yes.
And this idea that your vote counts is the biggest lie, because after the McCain-Feingold, they tried to get the campaign spending laws under control, and the Supreme Court wiped them out.
Right.
Today, if you don't have $1 million, you don't have a vote. That's the truth. So what happens is, I'm not saying it's fair, people get angry at me, but I operate on this side. I made my choice back in 1973, when I came back from Vietnam. I said, I'm going to join my rich dad. I'm going to understand what he knows. It's my choice of what goes into my head and who tells me what to do. See, most people over here are like sheep. They go to school to get a job. They go, why am I paying tax? Because you weren't taught anything about it. And then worst of all, then they put their money in 401ks and IRAs. The worst tax thing you can put your money into. See, Glenn, what you're saying is true. The truth will set you free, but the truth is in tax law. You see, if you understand tax law, you will understand the truth. And these guys here make the rules simply because they have the money.
Okay, so I'm an S.
Right. You pay a lot more tax than I do.
Right. But I want to be an S. I want to be an entrepreneur. I believe in the power of the individual. I don't want to be a B.
Let me make something. S stands for small entrepreneur. This is big entrepreneur. It doesn't really make any difference. It's in the tax law. So let me give you the clue, okay?
Okay.
The tax code is 1,000-something pages, whatever it is really a code on tax incentives or stimulus plans.
Right.
They tell you, I do what capitalism is. The tax law says, if you do what I want done, we'll give you a tax break. So I have tons of real estate. I have apartment houses. I get huge tax breaks because the tax department or the government wants me to provide housing. If I didn't provide housing, it would be communism with government housing. So the tax code is really capitalist. And they're saying, if you guys do this, you provide housing, you'll get a tax break. What you do is this, you're getting huge tax breaks also because you employ people. And the government wants us to create jobs. The trouble is these guys don't see it that way. The other thing that I invest in heavily is oil, but not oil stocks. If we don't have oil, civilization, as we know, stops. So I'm always incentivized to drill for more oil through oil partnerships, not oil stocks. That's the tax law. And if you understand tax law, you'll understand why the rich are getting richer.
How can we stop this? I mean,
become capitalists. Do what the government wants done. I build apartment houses. I provide housing. All of it, when the subprime.
But you know what? You are being targeted now, though, too. I mean, I have a friend who's I have John Huntsman Sr. as a good friend of mine. And
Smart
he
guy.
built a smart guy and builds hospitals and everything. He's giving everything away.
Yes.
Okay. He's done it all right. He's under attack too.
Yes.
So how do you stop it from having the control? I don't want to do what somebody else wants me to do. I'm not a trained little monkey. I'm not going to dance to their song.
That's being, let me just say it this way, okay?
Okay.
Great. Everybody thinks these guys are greedy. These are the greediest. This side is generous. You see, the more housing I provide, the more generous I am. These guys don't provide any housing. This is Buffett's secretary. She doesn't provide any jobs. Why should you give her a tax break? You see, everything is reversed. This is a mirror. So the more
This is such an upside down.
It's exactly right.
Right.
And you are, Glenn, being extremely generous by being so courageous. I think it's stupid, but you're being courageous. You are very generous. You know, Donald Trump is my friend, one of the most generous men I've ever met. You know, he flew his jet out to pick people up, to take them to hospitals.
Right.
He doesn't tell anybody that.
Right.
But people just hate him, you know, because he's a rich guy.
Well, I mean, I know people like that. We try to be, right. We try to be that way as a company. You conduct yourself in a generous sort of way,
Yes.
and it keeps coming back to you.
Well, it goes biblical. The more you give,
Right.
the more you receive.
Right.
The trouble with unions is I'm not saying they're wrong because they have a purpose. You know, they have a viewpoint, and my father was union. But they think they should work less and get paid more. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is really about providing a better product at a better price, constantly. Look at Apple. You know, they provide great products at good prices and all this. They're winning today.
Right.
And look at the guys.
Capitalism is creative destruction. Capitalism.
Yes, exactly.
Right. I mean, Apple didn't go and try to undermine IBM. They went out and just created a better product.
Glenn, they're doing what you did.
Yeah.
You give the customer what they want.
Right.
What a novel idea.
I know.
You know, so here you are, you're giving people what they really want is kind of the truth. You know, what is really going on here?
Right.
And you will be always successful as long as you're generous.
Okay.
But these guys here don't provide that much. You see, like my doctor can only do so many surgeries per day. He charges a huge fee. You know, he does pro bono work and all that. I'm not saying he's a greedy person, but professionally, he can't be that generous because there's only one of him. It's just, they're not bad people. I'm not saying good or bad.
Okay, but what about, let's go to the banks. Let's talk about the banks. I don't have a problem. I think there are bad bankers and
Yes.
greedy people
Yes.
and bad policies, and they usually become bad and greedy and awful when they collude with the government. That's
Most
when we have
banker-
real problems.
Most bankers are here.
How do you mean? They're
The
employees?
CEOs, they're employees. The CEO, you can listen to this guy named John Bogle of Vanguard Funds. He says some of the worst people are the CEOs of companies today. They've ripped off America. They've ripped off the shareholder. Okay, I mean, I understand this is a mindset, you know, go to school, get a job. Over here is go to school, become a doctor. You know, you must have a profession to fall back on. These guys charge by the hour or by, you know, they charge high fees.
Right.
Capitalists have to provide a better product at a better price. We have to be generous. That's like what you're doing. You have GB TV.
Right.
I have Rich Dad TV, RD TV, and I give my information away for free. I say, hey, come and take it, use it. You know, and they said, why are you so successful? Because we're generous.